This is the Ryder and Lisa replay.
Brought to you by Southtown Hyundai. Check out the Southtown Hyundai Advantage at southtownhyundai.ca.
Double cheeseburger day today. Not just cheeseburger day, it's double cheeseburger day. That's like an international celebration where nobody really celebrates, but I'm here for it.
I don't care for double cheeseburgers. I like a single cheeseburger.
Well, have you ever had a double cheeseburger with smashed patties?
No, in fact, I actually do think a smashed patty has too much meat. But I'm weird.
No, what?
I like more of the bread than the meat, you know?
Yeah, okay, you don't get to celebrate for sure then.
I wouldn't. I would get a single cheeseburger on double cheeseburger day. I would get two single
Just
cheeseburgers.
such a rebel. No, but the smashed burger, you just make the patties much thinner. So so you can have two, and just more of the meat hits the grill, so there's more flavor, and there's more cheese usually, because you can put cheese on both small patties.
Okay.
And then stack them.
You are a really good cook.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Can you give some advice to anyone listening right now that wants to make homemade burgers? Like, what are your top priorities when it comes to making an amazing burger? Because I recall you saying once, I want to make the best burger that someone's ever had. And that was a success one night.
Well, yeah, it was. We were having people over. This is a long time ago, 3 years ago. And I said, I want somebody here to say, this is the best burger I've ever had. That was and I said that to you.
Yep, you did.
And then halfway through the party, your friend Leah said, this is the best burger I've ever had.
And she's a huge burger girl.
We celebrated by doing shots. There's fireworks, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
So what did you do?
Couple things. One is, I know some people butter their buns and then grill them. Good idea. But if you put a little mayo on and then grill them, it works way better to crisp the bun up. Just give it a bit of a bite. And
why is that? Because it's got
really
egg in it?
Yeah, I think so. It's just the ingredients work better. So just a thin layer and then grill your buns. You need a crunch in there. So like lettuce even works, but I like to put chips on it.
What kind?
I'd probably go plain chips for that because there's so many other flavors going on.
But you can't be going with like Lay's. Can you do Lay's?
Yeah, you could. It just has to be crunchy. I don't even mind that because they're a thin chip.
Okay.
Sometimes those like Miss Vicky's or whatever would be too much to try to bite through with a burger.
Okay, so we need a crunch. We need to grill them with a little thin layer of mayo. What else?
Smash those patties.
What does that mean?
You just put a smaller patty on the grill and then you press down on it with something that'll make it like
wide.
So it's thin and wide.
Okay.
And then you can just get more cheese on it. I recommend making your own patties and moving away from just beef, like ground beef, put a little ground pork in there. If everybody who's going to be eating eats pork, you can do ground bison. It has a nice flavor. Ground emu.
Emu.
I've never tried it, but I would imagine it's good in there.
You know, I did enjoy the bison burger when I worked at Hudson's. You got the option if you wanted beef or bison, and people loved it.
Yeah, it's good. So mix even your meats. That tastes very good.
Okay.
Worcester egg, you need that.
Where are you putting that?
When you make your own patties.
Oh.
Make them like little meatballs and then squish them.
Got it.
Okay, so that's my tips.
I mean, I'm not going to ever use these tips because I don't cook, but I'm sure a listener is thankful.
Well, it's double cheeseburger day. Get at it. So there are two tips that two potentially different things could be happening, or like hints that have been dropped. You can now print off vaccination cards. Oh, no, sorry. Starting tomorrow, you can. And that is for Albertans. And they're like wallet-size cards that you'll be able to print off that show your immunization record.
And now, do you get those from the Alberta website, My Health Records?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, so I actually was proactive for the first time in my life, and I signed up for My Health Records Alberta about a month ago now. But it seems like a lot of people are trying to do that this week. Specifically, yesterday it was really clogged up.
Bogging down the website.
There's like 30,000 people in line to try and get through. I don't know what that means.
Well, that's because people think you're going to need these cards.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by there's two tips that have happened. So there is a chance that these vaccine passport mandates are going to be put into place. That's what it's looking like as a potential avenue that the government takes. The other one is that Hinshaw's bangs are really short again. Have you heard about this?
No. She's stressed.
No, she cuts her bangs before they go into lockdown. That's happened before.
Is this a conspiracy theory?
No. Right before lockdowns were announced, both times she had her bangs really short because they were going to be closing.
No, that's not true. People cut their bangs when they're going through a crisis. Hinshaw has been
going through
stressed. Of course, she's cutting her bangs shorter and shorter.
No, people are saying you can tell when we're going to go into lockdown by her bangs. So I don't know what's coming. It could be vaccine passports. It could be full lockdown. But either way, it looks like with the numbers going the way they are, that the government is going to be forced to do one of those two things.
So if you haven't signed up for myhealthrecords.com or whatever it is, myhealthrecords.alberta.ca, or you can find the app. My app was glitchy. I tried to sign in to this morning and it was like, error. I was like, okay. So I tried it on my actual computer here and it worked.
Is it kind of crazy that you can check that much? You can get a lot of information about your health from it.
Well, that's exactly it. Before, it was like a smoke and mirrors thing, out of sight, out of mind, where your doctor was the only one that got access to the computer when you'd go for your checkups, right?
Yeah.
Whereas now, I just went for a blood test last week because I procrastinated and went for a full checkup in April. But, they give you the sheet to go get your blood test.
I've done that a couple times, too,
I know.
and then you just don't go.
Then you just don't go. But I eventually did go just last week, and my results are here. So I can just look through to see if there's any abnormalities.
Yeah.
And it's pretty intense, because as I'm clicking through the results of my blood, you're
just waiting for something to be a bit of a red flag.
Exactly. Yeah. And as I'm going through, everything is all good.
Hey. What?
I just found my first abnormal status.
What is it?
My pee was cloudy.
Oh, you're just dehydrated. Everybody knows you don't drink water.
Don't. That's such a burn. I drink water. I do.
That is.
It's the worst thing to say. So if you ever want to offend someone, I've said this before on the show, just be like, you look like someone that doesn't drink water. It's so mean. Anyway, that's the only thing that I see that's abnormal. So that's really good.
Hey. It'll be interesting to see what shakes down. If you want the link, you can always text us and ask us questions about anything we've talked about.
Yep.
We're pretty good at getting back to you. Tell me something good coming up, and then your chance at $100. It is we had to reset the pot for Ryder and Lisa's $20,000 Play That Tune. Coming up at 7:10.
Play 107.
If you're a fan of romantic content, that maybe you've already seen this video come across your algorithm on TikTok. There's a video that's gone viral. It's got over 1 million views now. And it's 1 million views now. I'm struggling. I don't know what's wrong with me. There was a photographer that posted that he was out for an evening stroll. The sunset was gorgeous. The sky was pink and purple. This was on the coastline of England in Cornish. And he happened to see a couple at the top of this hill who were just getting engaged. One of them went down on one knee and he captured it all on video. And also, being a photographer, got some cool pictures. Kind of creepy at the same time because they didn't think anyone was around.
Right.
But Louis went up to them and just said, hey, I noticed that you were getting engaged and I happen to have it on camera. Would you like it? And they were very thankful. Usually there are people around, especially with a beautiful sunset.
Yeah.
But there was no one except for this photographer.
Amazing.
I know, I love it.
Tell me something good.
It was awkward afterwards, though, because right after the engagement, they got really excited and started to roll around a bit, thinking they were the only ones there. And he's like, I caught that on tape.
Yeah, I got
too.
that. Do you want me to send that to you? What is your email address?
My story is about a man named Chad Keller. At age 6, he knew he wanted to be an astronaut, and he put in a lot of work to end up at 29 in the Department of Defense and National office satellite specialist.
See, you're struggling too.
A lot of big scientific words. Anyway, there was a good chance that this guy would end up going to space.
Cool.
Sadly, his life was taken. He was on the flight that crashed into the Pentagon on 9/11. His family kept his ashes and said that someday they'd get to space. Well, that just happened. An astronaut heard about this story. He took up the ashes and a photo of Chad, the 9/11 victim, to space to fulfill his lifelong dream of orbiting for NASA.
I love that story.
Tell me something good.
If you've deleted all of those kinds of apps, including social media, this after Britney Spears just deactivated her Instagram, and she is on Instagram all the time. So it was just kind of weird to see that. Is she happier right now with her account being deactivated? You look at celebrities like Jennifer Lawrence, who have never had a social media account.
Incredible.
How do you do it?
She's able to do it. Because a lot of those gigs that you get, like, it's expected, or you're hired because of your social following.
Yeah.
And they hope that you can drive people to the theaters or, to the TV show that you're on. For her to not have any is a superpower move.
Yeah, but it's so important. I don't know. She's an exception because you're right. It is expected.
Yeah.
But for your mental health, taking those breaks is so important too. And I'm sure some of our listeners have done that. I mean, one of my girlfriends wrote in our group chat yesterday saying, just so you know, I'm going off of social media for a while. Like, just letting us know.
Right.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah. And then what, like 2 weeks, a month?
I don't know.
You end up getting bored? Like, what do? You watched Judge Judy?
I guess. My girlfriend Liz was like, I'm going to see how long I can go without Facebook. That was about 9 years ago.
Yeah, good for her. I've got a couple buddies, too, that have just never bought into it, and they seem a little bit more at peace.
They're just a bit more relaxed.
And they never take pictures of their food,
Every time I try to do that, it looks like crap.
Yeah. All right, let's give away some money.
Yeah.
Brand new clip.
It's time for Ryder and Lisa's $20,000. Play that tune! Think you know this song? Be caller 7. Play that tune.
Powered by Southside Mitsubishi.
You think this one's a lot easier than the last one, Lise?
Oh, yeah.
You were able to figure it out, you think?
I think so.
Okay. We have Audrey on the phone, who is caller 7. What's up today, Audrey?
Just having a wonderful morning listening to you.
Aw, you rock. Okay, we're going to play the clip for you one more time, and then you'll get your chance to guess. And if you're right, you'll get $100.
Okay.
Here is the clip.
I want to dance with somebody.
Congratulations, Audrey. You just won $100.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
That one was a lot easier than the last
It
one.
was a lot easier.
So, our text line sometimes gets a little interesting.
Majority of the time, it's positive and amazing. We love our listeners. They're so funny.
Yesterday, there was an interaction, though, where somebody disagreed with something I said and was fairly mouthy in how they told me that. It turned into, like, something along the lines of, how can you even wake up in the morning knowing that you're just going to drive to a job where you spit garbage out of your mouth all day, something like that. And I just said, I actually find it quite easy to come to work. I get paid quite well to do something I really enjoy. Mm-hmm. So, and then he said, well, but you also have to look at your fat body in the mirror first.
Just a terrible human.
Before you go.
I just can't imagine, because it was a first-time texter tracking down our phone number just to be that passionate in such a negative way to someone you've never met. If you don't know Ryder personally, you wouldn't understand how wonderful he is as a human. So it triggered me so much, and I felt bad for you because the rest of the show you were like, I'm fine, it's fine. But I know it's still hard. It's still so hard to have someone critique your body like that. It's unnecessary.
I would say it's even harder because I have been working pretty hard to lose some weight. I quit smoking. The pandemic kicked all of our asses.
But keep in mind, when you quit smoking, sometimes you will gain weight after that.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Okay.
So, like, I've been working hard to get it back. And this guy's opinion, it doesn't matter. I don't care. But
do you not care?
No, truthfully, like, I don't think I beat myself up about that dumbass. Oh, sorry. that comment at all. Other than, like, I went swimming yesterday and I was swimming harder because I was like, and I guess using it as motivation is okay. The fact that it was on my mind is annoying. I wish I could have just, like, not thought about it at all, but I didn't, like, beat myself up about the comment.
See, now when I've gotten fat shamed, and it's always a fake account, and it's very unfortunate because I'm not sure if it's the same person or if just several people are that awful and that sad as humans that take time out of their day to create fake accounts and do that. It does affect me, but I agree with you that it kind of motivates me to get moving. And I don't want to say that I'm advocating for bullying. It still hurts so much.
Of course, yeah.
But man, do I ever work out harder after. It's crazy. I am giving her in the gym after that because I want to prove to them. And that shouldn't be it. That shouldn't be my mindset when I'm in the gym. It should be I'm there because it's healthy for my mental state, not because I'm trying to prove something to somebody I don't even know. We know nothing about each other.
Right. There is a TikTok account that's really awesome. Official 250 is what she goes by. And she gets a lot of negative feedback. TikTok is a garbage fire for the comment sections being ruthless.
Yeah, people don't care.
No, they just tee off on others. Anyway, she had the question, how do you deal with the negativity from random people on your pages and posts? And I thought her answer was lovely. So we're going to break that down for you. If you've ever needed just to fill your tool belt with an item that can help you kind of navigate through negativity.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a mean comment. It could be a rude person at work. Maybe there's someone like a customer that you dealt with that was terrible towards you. Just a great mentality and perspective from this girl on TikTok.
I think you'll get a lot out of it. So we'll get to that in about 7 minutes.
On Play 107.
Pretty good indication on the text line of what it's all about. So one ugly text yesterday that we were talking about a little earlier where somebody said something along the lines of, how can you wake up every morning and look at that body in the mirror and then come to work or something like that?
Just a very low-hanging fruit insult. Very offensive and just sad. We're really, really sad.
But to see the outpouring of lovely comments on the text line goes to show what the world's about.
Yeah.
There are just so many more. And if you could learn how to take those ones in and they make them mean just as much as the one ugly one, like now we're looking at 50-1 on great comments rather than ugly. And I think it's just important to do that. So thank you very much to anybody who texted in. As much as like my instant reaction was, I want to headbutt this guy in the teeth.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, oh yeah, he's just broken. So I hope he can figure out how to, get on top of whatever is causing that.
Yeah, there's obviously some inner anguish there. So you do kind of have pity towards people that are that sad.
There is a TikTok account, official 250.
Now, I think I found her on Twitter TikTok a while ago, and I think she got famous because of the way she says "all right." Mm-hmm. It's really funny.
It's super funny.
Super likable human.
But I think this advice can be so impactful in many ways when dealing with negativity. Check it out.
If somebody wants to put out their own bad karma, say mean things, say, oh, you're fat and this and that, that's their bad karma. They chose to put that out, and that's what's going to come back to them, okay? Now, why would I choose to put out bad energy? All right, it doesn't make any sense. If somebody's being mean, racking all that badness up for themselves, I ain't going to do that. I'm going to say, all right, makes me sad that you're putting that out there for yourself, but I'm not going to do it. So I choose to just put out kindness, happiness, self-love, smiles, and then guess what comes back to me? The same thing, all right? Now here's a little something else that works for me, all right? If somebody says something mean to me, whether it be in person or on the interwebs, okay, if they're being mean and I can sense that, they got something evil going on within, I'll simply just, tell myself, hey, I hope that they find the peace within that they need to be happy. It only takes, 10 seconds to hope good for someone else, or I can be like, fight back, and then that hate just gets bigger. It only takes one person to kill it down. That's all right. I'll be that person. One day at a time, killing hate. There's too much of it, man.
She is lovely, eh?
So likable.
What an awesome message, and what an awesome.
All right.
Enjoy
Ryder and Lisa.
on Play 107.
If you ever have something that you've experienced that you'd really like to recommend to others, let us know, and we can throw it on this segment, which we call Recommend Something.
Yeah, unless it's something that you like to only know about.
Yeah, you don't want to give away like the golden jewels, really.
Yesterday, I met up with my sister and her two little kidlets at Sweet Pea Cafe. Have you ever been there? Probably not.
No.
Now, it's a vegan restaurant on one side, probably the best cinnamon bun I've ever had in my life.
Really?
It was so good. I also got a latte with oat milk, a hazelnut latte.
And you liked it a latte?
Incredible. I liked it a latte. But not only that, they have the cafe on one side, and then on the other side, it's a playhouse. for your kids to go. There's a little fee for the kids to go in, and everything is sanitized in between the kids that are playing in these different little playhouses, and they all have different themes. So there's a diner that they can go in and pretend to be working in a diner, making pizzas and using the cash register. There's a grocery store with little carts that they can fill up and then ring through.
I want to go there.
I know, it's
and
so
like
fun.
Play in that area.
So it was me and my 2-year-old niece and my sister, and then she's got an 18-month-old boy, and he just kind of like...
He's still in blob phase.
Yeah, he's just a potato. So he was just over there, on the carpet in the corner, chilling. And there's a firehouse, so they can go and dress up like a firefighter and pull the hose out.
Unreal.
There's a little schoolroom. There's a huge chalkboard for them to draw on. There's blocks. We had the whole place to ourselves yesterday afternoon.
So what age would you say is like perfect for a parent to take a kid there, or an aunt or an uncle to take a kid there?
2 to 6.
Okay.
Ideal age, and amazing people that work there. Like everything about the experience, I just didn't even know a place like that existed.
Yeah, that's really cool. I didn't know that existed either. Sweet Pea Cafe, you said?
Sweet Pea Cafe, and it truly means that. Like you walk in, you're like, it's so sweet in here. It's so cute.
I'm going to go for recommend something right now. The Toronto Blue Jays look to be gearing up for a playoff push.
Okay.
And usually teams that can sneak into the playoffs and have to get really hot right before the playoffs
What does that mean?
do a lot of damage in the playoffs.
Got it.
They're like, their engine is running hot just to get into playoffs. Happens in hockey all the time. They're like the 7 or 8 seed that sneaks in, all of a sudden upsets the best team in the league who's been on coast mode, because they know they're going to get into playoffs. Anyway, I would just suggest with a couple weeks left in the regular season for the Major League Baseball, start watching this team if you haven't yet. I think they're going to get into playoffs, and I have a weird feeling they're going to do a lot of damage in playoffs once they get there.
The Blue Jays are fun to watch for me personally, even though I'm not a huge sports fan, because of the people that are on the team. They're so likable. Whenever the camera pans to them in the dugout.
Yeah,
and
they're like
just
having the best time. They all like each other a lot.
They're all laughing with
Really
one
good
another.
like camaraderie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome team. I mean, huge hitting team. Some of the best young guys in the league. I would just recommend, if you're a sports fan at all, that you give this team a chance over the next couple weeks and see what happens.
This might be inappropriate, but they're also very cute.
Like all of them?
Yeah.
We are asking you for interesting way that you landed a date.
I got an interesting story for you. It starts back about 6 years, I'd say, listening to your guys' morning show. And I texted something in. It was actually for a contest to win Selena Gomez tickets. And I picked something about my dog, if I remember right, and it made Lisa laugh. So I ended up winning the Selena Gomez tickets. And then at that time, I was talking to a girl just on the dating app. We'd been talking for a bit, hadn't met up yet. But I used the Selena Gomez tickets to be a sort of first date. And then funny enough, that same day, you guys gave me a call, and the Selena Gomez tickets got upgraded to a meet and greet.
Okay.
So in terms of a first date was actually pretty interesting, pretty special. And then funny enough, about 2 weeks ago, we just got engaged.
Whoa!
Oh my gosh! Woo!
That's so awesome!
I'm crying.
It speaks to your guys' staying power, to be honest. I mean, that's a lot of years ago,
Yeah.
So that's actually pretty cool. Each morning we kind of wake up, listen to you. So in a weird way, it's like a comforting stability thing in the morning. I don't even know if you guys realize being on the air for so long.
What is your fiance's name, Eric?
Her name is Nikki.
Well, congratulations to you and Nikki, and maybe this means I should finally shoot my shot with Selena Gomez, too.
Can we be invited to the wedding, or is that a bit too much?
Oh, I think absolutely.
It's time for Ryder and Lisa's $20,000. Think you know this song? Caller 7.
Play 107.
Good luck. All right, let me break this down for you. JJ, we had a winner for $2,700 yesterday at 9:10 a.m. And then this morning at 7:10, we reset it. Audrey named it on the first go for $100. So we are at 100 again, okay?
Who doesn't need $100?
Exactly.
Okay, so we're going to play the clip for you one more time, JJ. So listen carefully and then take your best guess, all right?
All right, you bet. Now, my guess would be Backstreet Boys' Larger Than Life.
anybody had a hope in hell in that one.
How did you know?
I think it's got a lot to do with y'all's positivity.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
thanks,
so
man.
sweet. Congratulations, JJ. You just won $100. That was easy.
Yeah, well, thanks to you guys. Yeah, thank you so much.
Talking about interesting ways you landed a date at
Yeah.
780-784-7107. You've got a good one.
Yeah, I was at the Druid, and there was this area where I knew a lot of the people in the space at the time, but I backed up and accidentally bumped into someone as I was talking to some old friends from high school. And I turned around and there was a guy sitting on the stool, and he's wearing this long black pea coat, and he had a Remembrance Day little poppy on him.
Mustache?
Yes.
See, that's your thing.
Oh,
November's your favorite month because of that.
he looked so good. And so when, just to clarify, because of Movember, like the mustaches. Mm-hmm. That's why I like November. And the pea coats are always being worn. And I was like, I don't know this guy. And I apologized to him. And he was friends with a bunch of people I knew. And he's like, do you want to go on a date? I was like, yeah, I don't even know you. It was just a cool way to meet someone.
Like you literally ran into each other.
It was like a scene from a movie. Anyway, it didn't work out. He told me he wanted to put a rock on my finger after the first date. So I was like kind of scared.
Ran like hell.
Yeah, I did.
780-784-7107. How did you and your guy meet? Hit us up with your stories.
So we actually met on a plus size people date line thing.
Is this an app?
Yeah. I don't know if it is anymore because it's been 6.5 years, but yeah, it used to be like a date site and it was strictly for just plus size people to find other plus size people.
That's really interesting. I didn't even know that existed, but why wouldn't it? Like, of course.
Right.
That's just like me and Christian Mingle. I'm all over that.
You're not Christian. How'd you pass the test? What were the questions?
I'm not plus size either, but I'm going to download that app. Thank you for the call. We appreciate it. And I'd like to let you know that I am Christian. I'm just not a practicing Christian, Lisa.
I do apologize. I'm sorry.
I got my catechism. I got my confirmation.
Okay.
I celebrate Christmas.
107.
That was the winning song from yesterday. $2,700 went Winnie's way. Your next chance to win $100, as it's been reset a couple times already this morning, coming up at 9:10 a.m. with Ryder and Lisa's $20,000 Play That Tune. We're talking about unique ways you landed a date. I read the book, The Game, by Neil Strauss, which is like the secret society of pickup artists.
Yeah, it's outdated, man.
No, I know, but it's also like the story of these losers who figure out like a hack on how to introduce themselves to women. It's not all bad.
Okay.
Okay. And I used one of the lines from it on this girl who was like super confident at the bar. Like she looked like she owned the bar. And like I saw a couple guys approach her and like she had no time for them. And I walked up and just said,
it's my chance.
Yeah, I was like, I got to try this. So I walked up and said, did anybody ever tell you your nose wiggles when you laugh? And she like started like...
You caught her attention, unlike the other dudes, right?
And she was on a flip phone at the time, and she just closed it without saying goodbye to who she was talking to. That's how badass she was. And she's like, what'd you say to me? I was like, your nose wiggles when you laugh.
And that's all you had to say to get her attention.
And she's like, when are we going for a drink?
You were like, well, funny enough, we're in a bar. This story sounds fake. Caught you.
No,
Yeah,
I promise that story's true,
That is
Lisa.
a fake story, and we all just caught you. This is like such a great Legally Blonde moment.
Do you want more details?
Do you remember in Legally Blonde how she figured out how she knew the woman was lying?
How?
Because she just got a perm and then she claimed she was in the shower and she's like, you can't have a shower for at least 48 hours after getting a perm. Ryder, do you want to go for a drink sometime? We're in a bar.
We were in Amigos nightclub. It wasn't the classiest place for a first date.
Oh,
so we
okay.
went elsewhere for a drink. Then she ended up being in a biker gang and I had to avoid her for my own safety. Cool story.
Well, way back in like the 1950s when I was working the A&W drive-thru, and this young lady came through, and while I was dealing with her order, she mentioned she was going to go see this movie later, and I was like, oh, I wanted to see that movie too. So she's like, well, hey, come with me, and that was it. And it was a great invite to be asked as a guy instead of having to do the asking all the time, but